Hey, welcome to Tim's Vinyl Confessions. I'm Tim Durling. This is a very special edition. I'm here in the home office of my good friend Matt Phillips, which today is the listening room, and the subject is the long-awaited, for us, new album by one of our favorite current bands. The Darkness just came out not too long ago. It's called Pinewood Smile. And we are going to listen to this thing. We're going to listen to the actual vinyl. In order to do that, Matt has granted permission to do something which I never do. Open up this brand new vinyl. We did this through Pledge Music. This was a Pledge Music campaign. Oop, and I'm destroying it here on it. This is the first Darkness album that Rufus Taylor plays drums on. There's your front cover. There's the back cover. We'll take a look at the packaging as we talk. For now, let's pop this thing on the turntable and get started with the new Darkness album, Pinewood Smile. And Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Matt's got his turntable ready to go. Beautiful red vinyl here.
Ooh, it's red. Oh, that's cool.
So here we go. Thick vinyl too, very thick vinyl. Last of our kind was a nice quality thick vinyl as well. Let's get this started. All right, so let's get started with Pinewood Smile by The Darkness.
Wow, we've been waiting for what, months,
and then probably a month after that, after reading about everybody talking about getting the album, and we're still sitting here like, hello.
I think we pre-ordered this back in May.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. So here we are, first song.
All the Pretty Girls. So
Yeah.
We've seen the video of this one.
Yeah, this was one of the tracks that was made available for download if you've pledged. And they also did as they do sometimes, a very humorous video for it. They're starting off with a bang, as you can hear. Matt, show them what the inner sleeve and everything, or the inner gatefold and all of that stuff looks like. So Matt, Pinewood Smile. I have an idea of what the title's about. What do you say the title means?
Well, there's this thing where they always talk about British people having not so great
Dental situations?
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because actually his teeth on here look pretty perfect. Gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the album cover. I've always loved their album covers. This one, not so much. But
it stands out, I guess is the best thing you could say about it. If you see it in the racks, it stands out. But also Pinewood, is that a reference to Pinewood Studios?
Oh, in London, yeah, where they film all the James Bond movies.
That was the first thing I thought.
There's a live shot of Justin in his cat suit. And we've got lyrics.
And I think we've talked about this before. One of the fun things about The Darkness is their lyrics. They don't write your typical rock lyrics. There's one song in particular that comes up here is, I'm sure in the UK it holds greater meaning, and we'll get to that once it comes up, but their lyrics are definitely far from typical. I think Justin writes the lyrics. I don't know if it's...
He shares them with Dan.
Yeah. So it's interesting now, I mean, we talked about this in our earlier Darkness episode, where we went through everything that we had up until that point. But for a band that was so obviously influenced by Queen, well, now for the first time on vinyl, they've got some lineage with Rufus Taylor on drums, son of Roger Taylor of Queen. So I'm sure if he's anything like his dad, he's contributing to arranging and part of the songwriting as well. He probably plays a multitude of instruments. So let's see. I have noticed already that, like Last of Our Kind, their previous album, this one also appears on, this is a Canary Dwarf and Cooking Vinyl. It's the same company that put out their previous album. For a history of The Darkness, I mean, you could find that easily, but we did an episode on The Darkness a couple of years ago when Last of Our Kind was new, and we kind of went through our collections. And one thing that remains with the Darkness albums is the multitude of extra songs, but
Yes.
we'll talk about that a little bit later.
What's this song called?
This is the second track. It's called Buccaneers Hispaniola. Again, just from their album titles, you're not dealing with your typical rock lyrics, which in this day and age is fun because great new music can come out, and I've talked about this with I'm not going to name any names, but one of my favorite bands. I find that lyrically it's very much rehash. The Darkness don't do that. Even if some of them are borderline ridiculous, when you've got this happening, it really doesn't matter what they're singing about.
That's somebody else. That might be Rufus. I don't recognize that voice. Interesting.
There's some harmony vocal effects. Very, well, not to belabor the point, but very Queen-esque. And I've always said that the Darkness are sort of a cross between Queen and AC/DC. It's just riffing out here. So this is nice, really, really thick paper when this comes in, and this is the type of thing that lasts, and it's worth spending the extra dough on, really. Now this record has 9 songs on it in total. But Matt there will show you there's a download code that came with it for an extra track called Happiness. Now the Darkness are well known for providing bonus tracks. Alright, so here we go. This is Solid Gold. There's a video for this one as well. We're familiar with this song. Very AC/DC, just simple rock and roll sounding. The lyrics are...
You're gonna blow people's heads off?
Heads up, yep. Hell bent for denim and leather. That's very British metal right there. Well produced, just nice and clear.
Guy coming down from Sony.
Artist and repertoire.
Yeah.
It's interesting because, to my knowledge, they've never been affiliated with Sony.
Oh, okay.
They were on Atlantic when they were on a major label.
Now, you were talking about the lyrics. I can't explain why I love the Darkness. Not really into Steel Panther. A lot of people might see them as a similar kind of thing.
Oh, to me, it's not the same.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm with you. I'm not into the whole Steel Panther thing. They're good musicians. It's just the lyrics. It's just that much part. It's just too much. Where the Darkness seem to toe that line. They keep it tongue-in-cheek, and in my opinion, not vulgar. It doesn't sound like, I don't know.
The Steel Panther's really lewd, and like
very much.
Talking about the lascivious kind of gross stuff.
Just very, very explicit, and it's like there's nothing left of the imagination. And plus, the Darkness have they come at it from a very British point of view. So oftentimes they could be saying something less, suspicious and lewd, and we don't know the expression. It's an expression we don't know over here. And unfortunately, I go so far to say is that sort of very Britishness is one of the reasons why, unfortunately, they're kind of a cult band on this side of the Atlantic. You know, they made a big splash with Permission to Land in 2003. I hate to say it, probably almost as a novelty, but, you know, there were a few of us that caught on and said, this is a really good band, and this is a band worth following. And that's kind of how it's been. I mean, they've been active now, reactive now for about 5 years, and they've been more or less prolific. It's only been 2 years since the last album. That's not a long wait.
Now, last time I checked on Pledge Music, these are still available. The CD, like the basic CD, basic vinyl, and the cassette too.
Yes, that's right. They even put this album on a cassette, and if the mailman comes through for us, you may see the cassette version of Pinewood Smile on this episode, but it's on the way. Def Leppard did that 2 years ago. Bands are starting to do that again, and I've talked about, I think I know why, because they figured that the fan base is probably our age, grew up starting out buying cassettes first, and the idea of a new album being on cassette is kind of a novelty now. I love the fact that there's a vinyl resurgence. It's awesome. There's been a vinyl resurgence. This is the song that I was talking about. This is called Southern Trains. Southern Trains is actually a brand, is it not?
Yes. Yeah.
And it's basically a lament of how poor the service is. And it's also a speed rocker, as you can hear. The lyrics are secondary, but the lyrics are quite funny. Anyway, the idea of putting the album on a cassette is more of a novelty than seeing it on vinyl. A few years ago, it was a novelty to me to see a new album on vinyl. Now, it's expected. Of course it's going to be on vinyl. It might be on vinyl and nothing else.
He certainly hasn't lost any range.
I think he's smart enough, Justin, that is now, to not put it in every song all the time. Yeah, his high falsetto voice was an obstacle that honestly I had to overcome when I got into this band, because I liked the music right away, but then he opened his mouth up and it was a bit jarring. You weren't expecting all high all the time, ridiculously over the top falsetto, but after a while it's part of the charm of this band.
Yeah, now it sounds normal to me.
Yeah. Well, this would be the equivalent of somebody, a Canadian band, writing a complaint about, I don't know, CN Rail or whatever. Exactly. We don't really have, you know, trains aren't really a thing here, but I don't know, Greyhound or...
Not for commuting, anyway.
Yeah. I'm also really glad to see that they put this on one record.
Yeah.
There are two songs on each side, and you know, so they could charge twice as much. This one's called "Why Don't the Beautiful Cry."
Why Don't the Beautiful Cry?
Yeah. So we're change pace here. There's a real fun factor with these guys too, and it's not just Queen. It's even if you think of bands like Van Halen and Aerosmith and Kiss. Like there's an element of fun that elevates them from just being a heavy rock band. And in this case, not being afraid to try different arrangements and slow it down just a little bit. They've always kind of done their own thing. They do really, really good ballads. I'm wondering if there's going to be another really good ballad on here, because they usually do a good job. But I also get the feeling that these are four guys in a studio banging this out. Mm-hmm. Maybe not one take, but they're at least putting the bed tracks down together. I don't think they're doing this from four different locations and then putting it together, because I think it kind of sounds like it. And that is the end of side one. Side two of Pinewood Smile.
What's the
new Darkness album. Here you go.
What's the track here? Japanese Prisoner of Love.
Of course, why not? Some serious riffage on this album. Some seriously heavy going on. Something I'm going to do right now as we're filming this, and I'm Tim's vinyl on Discogs, and just kind of started cataloging my collection by scanning the barcode, so I'm going to scan this in as we speak.
I'm gonna do that actually. Is it easy to do?
Sometimes it just doesn't pick them up. Let's see if we get when we do this here. Couldn't find a match for it. Isn't that weird? Let me see yours, Matt. It might be because mine's sort of the plastic one. There. Okay, this is really strange. This is really strange. Hold on a second. Great tune, not to take away from that. But for some reason, our records have different numbers on their barcodes. Which makes no sense. The opening, no, they're completely different.
The barcode even looks different.
Yeah. Well, okay. Oh, I bet I know. My barcode is a sticker that's on the plastic. I bet you that's on underneath of it. I don't understand why they'd be different. Yeah, the serial, the Cook KLP675 is the same. So there you go. It's a handy way to keep track of your collection. You know, it's always been the Hawkins brothers and Frankie. Well, it wasn't always Frankie, was it?
Frankie was the original bassist.
Yeah, but then he left and then came back, did he not?
And the guy that was the bassist,
Richie Edwards?
Yep,
Yeah.
he was with them in a band called the Stone Gods. And he
That's
was
after
the
Justin
lead.
had left.
Yeah, he became the lead of the Stone Gods.
Yeah. This is called Lay Down With Me, Barbara.
Another flag waver.
Yeah. I don't wear pajamas.
Is that what you said?
Typical rock lyric. Yeah. That's what I heard anyway. Is that what he said?
Yeah, I don't wear pajamas. Trust me, darling, you won't need that chemise.
They're serious about their silliness.
Yeah. But it's not, I mentioned Steel Panther before, it's not a parody or a spoof.
No, it's just what they do.
Yeah.
If there was an actual top 40 chart that played all genres, The Darkness are one of the only bands I can think of that would have at least a couple of singles.
Oh, okay.
Maybe. They're not so heavy that they're going to keep themselves off pop radio. But they're not so pop that they lose their rock audience either. To me, they just seem to have that combo going on perfectly.
Yeah, it's a shame we never hear this stuff on the radio.
No.
Actually, can't wait to check this out with headphones on too.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I mean, they pay attention to the production is really good, and chances are there's a lot you're not catching without headphones on. This is called "I Wish I Was in Heaven."
not.
That's Justin. He's just singing. Great guitar solos too, and that's something else that I miss. Not a lot of that. It doesn't necessarily have to be, blistering stuff all the time too. They can do that. It's just a good mix all around. So the last song on the vinyl is called Stampede of Love. Now, I have read about this. This is a bit tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
If you follow along with the lyrics. Oh, and it's the ballad on the album. Of course, it's not. Another thing I like about this band is that you can't tell what the ballads and the rock songs are just by reading the lyrics.
Yeah. There's 3 songs with a little bit of acoustic kind of.
Yeah.
Wow, his.
It's gotta be
such a different voice.
I don't think. I think that's got to be somebody else. That doesn't even sound like.
That sounds like Dan to me, but we'll have to find out.
Yeah. Does it say in there?
Well, that's what I was looking at. It just doesn't say on this song. No. There's no breakdown about
who does what. But it could be Rufus too, I suppose. Just first listen. I'm impressed.
I love it. Obviously,
this is
I was
great.
expecting to love it.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. I actually think they've gotten better from when they were, quote unquote, a big band. When they were on a major label, their first 2 albums are fantastic. But it's almost like phase 2 of their career began with Hotcakes, which I think you like more than I do.
Yes.
It didn't blow me away. I liked it. Last record I thought was fantastic, and this one too. I mean, there's just nothing not to like about this. So definitely worth the wait.
Oh yeah.
It was a fair wait, but Pledge Music. If there's one thing I could say, and you could call it a rant, but I think if somebody pledges for Pledge Music or Kickstarter, you should get it before it hits the stores, at the very least.
Oh, there's a little bit of it. Did you hear about this?
No.
Is this still the same song?
It sounds like it's the same chords, they just... There's a bit of studio chatter. I think that's it. Let me just see, make sure that the vinyl runs out.
There it goes.
Yeah, and there it goes. So the cool thing about it is that that's not it.
Oh yeah.
That is not it. And in a minute you're gonna find out what we're talking about. That's not the whole album, even though we just played it. So here we are now, the second phase of listening to the New Darkness album, even though, like I said, we just finished it. We also got the CD, and the CD has not 1, but 5 bonus tracks on here. One of them is the song Happiness, which there's a download code for in the album that you could put it on your computer. But this has that and 4 other songs. So I'm going to open this CD up. We'll see what's different about the packaging, if anything. So far, it just looks like a smaller version of everything.
Yeah, so are all the new songs rate tagged on at the end of what we just listened to? Or
They are and they aren't, except for Happiness. Happiness comes before Stampede of Love.
Okay.
After that, we've got Uniball, Rack of Glam, Seagulls, Losing My Virginity, and Rockin Space.
Right.
So here's what the Pinewood Smile CD looks like. Same as what's on side A of the record label.
All right, Tim, go ahead and pop that in there, and
we'll get this started. Same photos that are inside the gatefold of the album. Nice plain logo there in the middle as you take the CD out. And
is there a booklet or anything inside?
there's a booklet inside of it, and we're going to play the CD. So now we're going to listen to the rest of the album, the bonus tracks, starting with a song, the only other song that's available through the record with the download code. This is Happiness. So there's different pictures inside here than
That on the record.
you'd actually think that the record would have the most, but so we've got this picture of Justin and Dan. Justin, I'll show you here. Justin is wearing, even for him, this is kind of a ridiculously colorful outfit here. So there's that, the lyrics as they are in the album, and now Frankie and Rufus. And another nice thing is that lyrics to all the songs here, including the bonus songs.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it just sounds like something that off the album. So it's the Darkness are a band, and we've talked about this before. They've got an album's worth of B-sides and extra songs, and I wish they had a way of compiling it, like Def Leppard did with Retroactive.
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
But right from the beginning, they put up different songs on the B-sides. The next song, without going into too much detail, this next song is called, I'm going to skip Stampede of Love because we've already heard that. This one has kind of a long fade on it. I think it's just feedback. This is called Uniball. The opening line, his counterpart was hacked out by a scalpel-happy physician. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
I will now scan this into my Discogs collection as well. If you're curious about the band, I mean, they're obviously all on social media, but their website is thedarknesslive.com.
I definitely wouldn't call these throwaway songs.
No, like I said, there's a quality here. There's a standard of quality. You know, they probably picked the best songs of the batch for the album itself, but you know, if I recall correctly, it didn't cost that much more to pledge for the deluxe CD. So. That was Uniball. All right, next up, Rack of Glam.
Rack of Glam.
Just a nice, meaty guitar sound. Not down-tuned. Just... It's kind of addicting once you start doing that.
What is it?
It's kind of addicting once you start scanning them, but...
So do you have most of your stuff on there now?
Oh, no. I haven't even started with vinyl. I started with cassettes, because I could just... And a lot of old ones don't even have barcodes on them.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. They must not have scanned them.
Do any of your 8-tracks have barcodes?
Only one of them, and it wouldn't scan. But I think in that case, they probably put the barcode on the little cardboard sleeves they would come in. That's probably how they did it.
When I ripped some of my CDs, I showed you how it comes up with the names and stuff. one of my albums, I think it's Mirror Ball by Def Leppard. It
Yeah.
came in as Deck Leopard. So it's just some manual.
Takes about 2 seconds to check something like that. This is called Seagulls, Losing My Virginity. Sounds like it might be a ballad. A lot of acoustic on this. Might be a record for the number of
for
acoustic-based
sure.
tracks. Not so sure that's Justin or not. Yeah, it might be. Yeah. Justin also plays piano. I guess I didn't realize that.
Oh, okay.
Rufus is the only other member listed as vocals of any kind.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not just backing vocals.
Oh, I see. Yeah, so he's definitely.
So the other voice must be him.
I'd love to know how they hooked up. Like how they.
Yeah. Seemed like organic. Yeah, and they're not using it as a gimmick.
Does it say in the bottom right corner how long everything is? It's
50 minutes altogether.
50 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, the regular albums seem fairly compact. Like we're talking under almost 40 minutes.
Yeah, which is how long I think probably most of our favorite albums were. You know, when the CD era came where it's like, well, you can get X amount of songs on a CD, didn't necessarily mean you were going to get the best quality album. It was great for compilations. You could just stuff it full. But I think there's nothing wrong. If you've got 10 good songs, you've got 10 good songs. I'm really curious about the last song on here, which is called Rockin Space.
Yeah.
Because Roger Taylor, I mean, of course, anybody that's not familiar with Queen past their radio songs, Roger Taylor was a big contributor. All four members of Queen wrote. John Deacon was the only one that didn't sing. So Brian May and Roger Taylor also sang songs. They would have 1, maybe 2 songs on an album. It got to be less and less as it went along, where it was only Freddie. But on Queen's album The Game from 1980, there was a song called Rocket Prime Jive. And the opening, once it gets going, the opening line is, "Do you really think they like to rock in space?" And I'm sure that's a very knowing reference for people. Plus, it was also one of, you know, it wasn't just a Queen song, it was a Roger Taylor song. He also put out a solo album called Fun in Space, so here it is, Rockin Space, the last of the bonus tracks.
Is that the same guy that voiced the Barbarians intro?
Probably. All of these parts here are written out too, as lyrics. Could be a theme from an old show, like a Saturday morning variety show, starring the Darkness. Let's try it out, see if we can hear what they're about to say. It almost sounds like a Dalek. The way they got his voice like that. Annihilate. These all have very long fades on them, it seems. Yeah, headphones, just a lot of going back and forth. So there you have it, in total. All of the new songs from The Darkness, their new album, Pinewood Smile. would recommend you pick it up in any format available, although, as Matt said, the Pledge Music still has the CDs available. I would go for the 14-track, all of the tracks.
If you see it anywhere at any stores, let us know. Just I'm curious if it's
if it's being, how well distributed it is, because they basically do it themselves, so I don't know if they've got a major distributor or not, but I know they're coming to the States in 2018. I don't think they're coming any closer than Boston, but I think it'd be an awful lot of fun live. So there you have it. Thanks for watching, and we encourage you to go out there and check out the new Darkness album, Pinewood Smile. This has been Tim's Final Confessions.
Hey guys, we're back in my office, and I just got a package in the mail, Tim. I think you're going to be excited about this one. We talked about The Darkness, their new album, Pinewood Smile, and I'm really hoping this is actually the albums on cassette. Zoom on down here for a second. Let's have a look at these. Ooh, it's really small. Ooh, I think it is actually. Check it out. So here's something I don't see every day. New cassettes from The Darkness. The Pinewood Smile. This is their new album that came out this month. And check this out. Let's see what it's got for tracks on here. Tim, this one actually has the song Happiness on it. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has 10 songs on there. So that's very cool. Going to add these new Pinewood Smile cassettes to our collection. Tim, when I see you, I'll give you your cassette, and signing off for now. Bye.